Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer has hit, and many people are breaking this down. If you have not seen the latest Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer, this is basically Jedi Fallen Order 2, and I'm not a huge fan of the title. You can let me know what you think of the title in the comments below. We're going to be breaking down the trailer in this live stream because there's a lot of theories, there's a lot of people looking at clues in this trailer of what's going on. I've got my own questions, I've got my own concerns, I've got my own hopes for what they're going to do with this game. We may be seeing the return of some cool characters, as well as there's been hints along the way about playable characters. So if you're watching this as a VOD, I try and do these right at the beginning to give you the thoughts and my ideas before we launch into the discussion. Make sure you hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss these live streams so you can be here for the discussions and the breakdowns. This is a Reforge update. Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer has released, and many people are combing over it, looking for clues, making speculation about what will happen in the next game. There is already some speculation about the game and what it's going to entail. I'm going to give you my brief thoughts here. We did a breakdown over on Reforge Gaming. Make sure you check out that channel or subscribe here on updates if you like these quick updates, and make sure you hit the bell button as well. So the trailer is pretty cryptic. There's somebody talking the entire time, sort of addressing Cal Kestis. This is sort of, I believe, from what we have read, 5 years after the events of Jedi Fallen Order. Now, first and foremost, I think Jedi Survivor is not the greatest title for a game. It sounds kind of goofy. I really liked when people came up with this idea in my stream. They said Jedi Fallen Order, Hidden Order, and New Order would have been a pretty cool trajectory, staying true to the title of the original game and making it clear that it's a sequel, because, you know, some people may hear Jedi Survivor and they might not even associate it with the first game. I mean, obviously when you see the trailers you will, but I think the title could have been maybe workshopped a little bit longer. Now, my first question seeing this trailer is, where is Cere, where's Merrin, and where's Grease? The ship right here flying through, you can see, looks pretty busted up, and the crew is nowhere in sight. Now, some people speculated, I myself theorized, that they were going to have Cere and Merrin be playable characters in the sequel, and then recently on one podcast where leaks were coming out, they hinted at the fact that there will be apparently more than one playable character. I think both Cere and Merrin would make for great candidates in that regard, both Force sensitive. Cal could help them, you know, sort of reconnect. He would be sort of the expert in that regard. So are they dead? Did they just decide to say, no, we're really going to disrupt player expectations and fan expectations, we're just going to kill them? I certainly hope not. Now, who's the person with the red lightsaber? That question is obviously circulating. Some people have said that they think that it's Cal and someone else training. It's not actually a villain. I was like, ooh, it could be Darth Maul. I was told that canonically at this point Darth Maul is dead, so it can't be him. I mean, I would love for this to be the case. I don't know if this is possible, but I thought Trilla stole the show in the first game. Trilla was arguably the strongest character in the game with respect to voice acting, the character arc, the dramatic sort of end with her, and bringing her back in some way. That, you know, unless you see somebody permanently gone, dead, and buried, they're usually not dead. I mean, she just kind of gets struck down pretty quickly, and then that's sort of the end of it. And she says, avenge us. So even at the end of her life, she sees herself sort of aligning with the Jedi. And that would have been, I think, a really, really cool opportunity to bring her back. So if there is some training going on here, maybe they've decided to, you know, bring her back in some way. Also, the person talking is not the Grand Inquisitor. We had people thinking that that's who that was. It is just an Inquisitor, which makes sense given sort of the trajectory of the story at this point. So I would love to see Trilla return. We don't know who's in the bacta tank. I don't know if there's any clues there that make it look like her, because I think she'd be a great candidate. I think, unfortunately, the hair is too light to be Trilla, unless something happened to her to make her hair change color or something like that. But it'd be pretty cool if it was her sort of waiting to come out, or it could be some other Jedi in hiding that's sort of slowly healing in a bacta tank. So overall, I'm really hoping to see Cere and Merrin return as potential playable characters. My long sort of big time wish would be that Trilla would return, as well as seeing Cal Kestis show up in some of the shows on Disney Plus. I think there's ways for them to do that. So let me know what you think of the trailer in the comments below. What were your thoughts? Head over to Reforge Gaming if you like my live streams, and as always, hit subscribe and the bell button so I can see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy Memorial Day to you. Thank you to all of those who have served and have fallen. We do appreciate their service as well as any continued service that you may be partaking in as active or inactive service members. And we do anticipate that, meaning we'll have a little bit of a lighter day. We will have a little bit of a lighter day. Holidays are never that great for us because that worker lurker crowd is not here. We get a lot of people who listen throughout the day while they are working. It's clearly Phasma in the tank. Who is Phasma? Sup, Lono? Cool shirt. Thank you. This comes from the video game collection, but right now, if you use the shirt command, I'm sending you guys over to the Father's Day collection. If you're looking for great gifts for Dad, 80stees.com is a great place to do that and use my code. Use code LONO for 30% off. They've got a great Father's Day collection over there. Who's Phasma? So you're telling me that's Phasma in there. Whoever it is missing an arm, it looks like. And this person's also missing an arm. Okay? So the person in the tank is missing an arm. If we want to do a little bit of a quick breakdown, I've got the wrong border on. Let me throw on my green because we're on gaming. So that person is missing an arm. They're fighting with one lightsaber. Phasma No, why would it be a stormtrooper? That doesn't make any sense. No, completely. That's so out of left field. There's no way that's true. So someone here is in this tank. Where's the clear shot? Where's the clear indication? That might even be a guy. Because it looks like they don't have. If we freeze frame right there, I think that's a male. Not to be crass, but if we look at the chest area and the arm area, it looks as though they're not wearing anything. And I don't see evidence of a female here. I think it'd be pretty obvious. That's a dude with long hair. Guy in the tank looks like Godry with that hair. Harry says it's a male. Yeah, that's not a female. Now, whoever's in the tank is missing an arm. They show a shot from above. Did we miss it already? That shot there, you can kind of see it. Where's the shot in the tank that clearly shows they're missing an arm? So whoever he's fighting is clearly... Oh, you were joking around. I was like, what on earth? Why would that be Phasma? Yo, a 9-month milestone for Khalid. What's good there, Lono? Sorry I couldn't catch the streams a couple weeks ago. I've been in Austria for vacation. Happy to be back and watch. Well, welcome back. Where is the shot of the tank where you see it from above? Is it before? We're going to have to pay close attention here. Whoever that is, I think Cal is fighting them. Now, somebody speculated that the person he's fighting, he's training with. And we see footsteps there leading away from the ship. Yeah, right there. Right there. So whoever is in this tank is missing an arm. Yo, Creature coming back in on a membership as well. Thank you so much. Speak Brothers, Spawns. What did Spawns say? Did I miss somebody with good information? Yo, what's good, Feed? Good to see you in the chat. Memorial Days for fallen soldiers that gave us is freedom we enjoy. Yeah, I said a little thing at the beginning. And we do appreciate our active and inactive service members here, and obviously want to pay tribute to those who have fallen. There are a few lore parts I don't agree with what you said. The dark side user is most likely not an Inquisitor due to the armor and saber hilt. No. The guy at the desk is an Inquisitor, Harry, not the guy with the lightsaber. Either I misspoke or you misunderstood me. There were people that said the guy talking was the Grand Inquisitor, and I'm like, no, it's just an Inquisitor. See, that's a fearful... I don't think they're training. And here's why. So Cal does this, and look at him backing up. That's a fearful backup. He's fearfully sliding backwards. The Pawan isn't wearing Inquisitor armor. I highly doubt it's training. The dark side user disarms Cal, and Cal crawls away. We see the Pawan opens the case with Cal's lightsaber and speaks about Cal running away. So you don't even think it's an Inquisitor. It's just a Pawn or whatever, however you're supposed to pronounce it. The lines on his arm in the tank is caused by lightning. So whoever that person in the tank was fighting was a Sith. The guy in the chair is a senator. With the scene of the tank with Cal has his left arm, you see the left arm in that scene is the right arm. No, it's the same arm. Left arm's holding the lightsaber. Left arm is the one that the guy has in the tank. Look. Right. Let's get the top to bottom look here. And I'll show you. It's left arm in the tank, left arm holding the lightsaber. It's the same arm. Or you're saying, right, you're agreeing with me. Okay, I thought you were disagreeing with me. Okay, I misunderstood. Sorry about that. Okay, so right there. So left arm in the tank. Now here's a question. Is there a clue here? That just looks like a stormtrooper walking in with some type of an Imperial, maybe like BD unit or a little unit like BD. Yeah, see, left arm holding the lightsaber. Let's see if we can get any clues on their face here. Or their armor. Yeah, I don't think this is training. Somebody on Twitter said they thought they were training. I'm like, I do not think so. Other than it maybe being a dream sequence. He's clearly a high-ranking Imperial, but I think he's working more independently since the dark side user can't be true Sith. Most likely not an Inquisitor, so it can be another branch working independent. Those are some big footprints. Well, what's his name? Grease? Grease has is shaped pretty uniquely, so they could be his feet. I'm guessing the game won't come out for another 2 years, maybe. Oh, no, I think it's on pace for next year. The guy in the tank even has, like, it looks like his skin. Obviously, we see, like, almost like veins up here, but the front of him and even the lower part of his arm, it looks like his skin has had colors changed. I completely agree that Survivor seems like a pretty dumb name. Have you noticed Cal having a holstered blaster now? If he loses his saber early in the game, we maybe get blaster gameplay while we re-earn our saber. I saw other people pointing that out. I've seen other people pointing that out. Where do you see the blaster? Is it here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got a blaster down here at his left, but it looks like he might still have his saber on the right. I don't know. This facility is also very overgrown. So here's what's weird. If he's fighting that person and it's the same person that's in this facility is clearly overgrown. There's like vines and stuff hanging down. So this is in some I would imagine this is in some abandoned place. Yo, what's good, Teddy? It could be a bikini top. I don't think so. I think it's a dude. How long has Vader been Vader since this? I have no idea. I mean, Vader shows up in the first game. This is 5 years later. Let's see. I'm guessing this game... I think the game's coming out next year, MJ Talks. Yeah, I already responded to that. But I do. I think this game... I think the Jedi Survivor release date is on pace for next year. If they're using the same assets and engine and stuff, I don't think it'll be a big deal. Why call it Survivor? Is Respawn adding a Survivor aspect to the game? Well... No. Okay, so Jedi Fallen Order was built around the idea that the Jedi fell and he's going to try and bring it back. And so then he destroys the thing at the end of the game. So this is basically he's the last. Apparently the idea is like he's the last survivor of the Jedi, or at least it's supposed to feel that way maybe. I don't think they're going to put survival elements in the game. I don't think they're going to be doing that. But I still think Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Hidden Order, and Jedi New Order was such a better... Somebody in Discord came up with that, and I was like, that's freaking brilliant. Yeah, the ship turns there, and yeah, there are some pretty big footprints down there. But again, that we don't know how close we are to the ground. That could just be like a normal human footprint. And this guy is clearly just in some city. Yeah, I guess he's not an Inquisitor. Glad this is going to be next gen only. Does anybody else feel like that looks like an eyeball underneath in the tank? I guess it's just a light, but it looks like an eyeball. Yeah, this will be next gen only in PC. I think that's going to be a huge, boost for it to go up. Does he have a blaster in that sequence? Does he have the blaster here? No, he doesn't. No blaster yet. So yeah, he must lose his lightsaber, and then he's got to kind of. Oh, this guy's rubbing the case, and is that what's inside the case? Oh, right. So he gets your lightsaber. Which means you might be in like captive at that point. Because if somebody's coming to him with the lightsaber, he's either lying to him and he's like, yeah, we killed Cal, here's his lightsaber. And right here at this point could be Cal's last ditch effort to kind of get another lightsaber or to get help or something. He finds some person in the back of the tank, and the fact that they only have a left arm and the person he's facing only has a left arm makes me wonder if you raise them and then they get really angry and turn, and then you got to fight them. Maybe that's a possibility as well, that you're not actually on the same team. I thought that was Raven in the hood for a second. I was so exciting. He's on Coruscant. My mind is playing tricks on me because the scene at 33 seconds looks like a view is under, so I thought it was his right arm. Oh, right. Yeah, you can see once you get a front view of the tank, left arm. Yo, YouTube Lurker hitting a 2-month milestone and doing a tier 2. Chad, if you're not a member, join today and watch Friday's VOD. Madam's reaction to catching Lono cheating in MLB The Show is worth a year of membership. Sorry, Lono allegedly cheating. Yeah, if you guys missed Friday night show, man, you members, we have over 500 members, and those streams only get about 150 to 200 views, man. A lot of you guys are missing out. I would go back and watch those VODs. Don't forget, as a tier 2 member, you can submit one game a month that Madam and I have to play. Be sure to do that in the Discord under the Madam Votes, room. That's why that was the first night we did that, and it was an absolute blast. They say this game is multiplayer. Imagine playing with Starkiller. But they've not officially announced that, have they? Are there details somewhere that say that, Free J Free? Never did like that they didn't include in the lore that Cal's lightsaber changed throughout the game. He's in a back-to-tank like Fett was in the show. The hair, skin color, and stripes makes it look like Dark Crate from the comics, if I'm saying that right. Dark Crate? Oh, yeah, maybe. But I wonder, Darth Crate. I think it auto-corrected you to Dark Crate. But Darth Crate in the comics, does he have long hair? I'm not seeing any pictures of him with long hair. But the tattoos, maybe. Oh, no, here's one with him with somewhat long hair. Yeah, the tattoos and stuff, I don't know. Do you think they're going to be pulling canon characters out or just doing new ones? He's also missing an arm and an eye? Really? Is this guy missing an eye in here in this tank, or is he just missing the arm? No, he could be missing his right eye. It's sort of back in the shed. No. It looks like he's got both of his eyes. Unless he's just got them closed and one of them, doesn't work. That could always be a possibility as well. The back of the tank lets your cells and stuff still grow. Yeah, so his hair grows in the tank, so the long hair is not necessarily an indication of anything, especially since the area that the tank is in is all overgrown. I mean, there's just vines and weeds and stuff everywhere. Now, clearly these stormtroopers are coming to this guy in charge, and they're bringing the case. So the stormtroopers are like walking down, and see, this is like maybe the result. Boom. So they've crash landed here, it seems, and it just fell. And somebody got out. At least one set of footprints got out and got away. Would Darth Crate be alive around this time? Would it line up with the timeline? Yeah, see, they're making it seem as though when he drops his lightsaber right there, that's it. He loses his lightsaber. That guy takes it, and then it goes to this guy. Because he gets disarmed, slides back, doesn't even reach for the lightsaber, which is kind of odd given he could just force grab it. What have I missed? I mean, we're just breaking down this trailer, theorizing who could be in the tank. You know, will Cal lose his blast? Have to use a blaster because it looks like he loses his lightsaber. Pretty clear that he loses his lightsaber because the guy ends up with it. And they're saying this is coming next year. Yo, what's good, Toasty? It hasn't been confirmed. They're saying it's just rumors, but it's coming from high sources that works at the studio. Pretty much a leak, but not confirmed. We're all wrong. It's just the antagonist from Mad Max. At the end of Jedi Fallen Order, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised that if in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2, we're running around with those other characters as playable. Marin would be playable. That's the Night Sister. Seer would be playable because Seer would be she would be reconnecting with the Force, and basically Cal would help her with that. It's Vader with a cloak. I don't think so. I think they're using the games to introduce new characters instead of bringing up old ones. Crate is legend, so it's old canon, so they may reuse the character in a new way. An 8-bit Pro 2 wired controller? What is that? You think it's Starkiller? I don't think the guy in there is Starkiller. Oh my gosh, that'd be insane if they brought Starkiller back. For those of you that don't know, Starkiller is from Force Unleashed. He was great. I thought the way they introduced him was absolutely brilliant because, like, Darth Vader shows up to fight that guy, and he's like, there's somebody stronger than you here. Who have you been hiding? And it's the freaking kid. The fact that Darth Vader sensed that's a big deal. That'd be amazing. Disney say Starkiller can be back in the canon. I would love for that to happen. Does Starkiller have anything happen to him at the end of the games? Does he lose any limbs or anything? I think the dude in the tank is a clone of Cal. It looks similar to Cal's body type, although Starkiller would be amazing. I don't know if it would be that would be weird for it to be a clone. Look at his arm. Actually, you know what? It could be Darth Krayt. Look at his arm. This guy's got white lined, almost like dark line tattoos all the way down his arm. I actually think that's a pretty good guess, looking at his left arm. Because is that Stark? When does Starkiller look like that, Hilly? Is that just fan art? That seems like fan art. And the Jedi Survivor is a good idea. I think Jedi Survivor is such a terrible freaking name. It's truly awful. I wish I could get a closer look at that arm. Maybe we can. I have an idea. Hang on, I have an idea. Let's use the snip tool. Let's snip that. Let's go like this, and let's go like that, and let's snip that, and then, what the frick? How do I zoom in on it? Can I just say, I wonder if I can just save as capture. Yeah, it's fine. You can overwrite that. And then, what was that? Was that downloads where I put that? Yes. All right, let's go here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, look at that. Hang on one second. Okay. I'm trying to get rid of the scroll bar. I don't think I can. Okay. I'll just zoom one out. So that arm is what's making people say that it might be Darth Krayt. Starkiller isn't canon anymore, though. They can design him however they want. Sounds like a poorly thought out BR title. Yeah, use enhance. That to me right there rules out a couple of things. I don't think it's Starkiller. I don't think it's a clone of Cal. I think it's a unique character. The arm alone, I think, is evidence of that, which could point to Darth Krayt, because did they ever show his bare arms? Did they ever look like this? Darth, let's see if we can get a search here. Darth Krayt arms. Let's see if we have any pictures of just his arms. It looks like he's like almost always got armor on. So you'd need somewhere where he's armorless or something. And I'm not finding any pictures of him with his bare arms out. It's such a unique thing to request. Yeah. I'm not seeing anything. Somebody else might have to have better Google chops than me. Gonna end up being Obi-Wan? No. Starkiller can be back because the theory for Starkiller is great with Vader. Yeah, so that right there, the arm in the tank, to me, that's him. Whoever's in the tank comes out. You're bored? Then go somewhere else. The guy in the tank is clearly who you fight. Because I don't think they're showing you somebody in a tank with a left arm, and then we just happen to fight somebody who only has a left arm with a red lightsaber. So whoever's in this tank, man, they're that person right. Oh, see, we got a good shot of their arm there. Hang on. Okay. I can't tell if that's tattoos or if it's like their skin. It's almost like veins in their skin or something. Hair and skin tone plus missing an arm is pretty close. To Crate loses that arm. Theme song is going to be a Destiny's Child reunion saying I'm a survivor. The fight's epic. I think it's Starkiller. No, whoever this is who you end up fighting. That's the person that you fight in that cutscene. I'm having serious doubts that they just happen to show us somebody with only a left arm in a Bacta tank, and then you fight somebody that only has a left arm. If you guys are tuning in right now, we are checking out the Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer, doing a breakdown, guessing who might be in the Bacta tank, guessing what's going to be happening. There's a lot of different clues in the trailer. If you enjoy this kind of content, I am safe for work. I'm usually in this scene doing a talk show, but today we're doing a trailer breakdown. Make sure and hit subscribe and the bell button. Thanks for smashing the like button and give us 100 likes. We thought it might be a lighter day because of the holiday, but maybe we could have a strong day. Our second stream of the day will be me reacting to an Asmongold video. Funny enough, it's Keys reacting in the video. I didn't know that. So we're going full meta today, reacting to a reaction video. Gee, many freaking Christmas. But it's about Diablo Immortal, pay to win. That should be a good video as well. We're periodically going to do reaction style content, but we want to do it in the vein of how we do content, discussion and debate oriented, not trying to be, lazy with the content. We think it'll be good. It looks like Goku on the healing tank. Yeah, it's Goku. Clearly we're looking at the first evidences of a Star Wars Dragon Ball Z crossover. Return of Malicos. I mean, the hair works for Malicos. Does he lose his arm? Do we chop his arm off when we fight Malicos? I can't remember. Then next week, he'll react to us, reacting to him, reacting to pay to win. Yeah, it'll be reactions all the way down. I hope Asmongold does that. That's endless content. He and I reacting to reactions of reactions of reactions. Just reactions all the way down. We could do an entire year of that. I don't think it's Malicos because his chest doesn't look right. Malicos had cut himself like tattoos. He should have a straight line right across his chest with that circle in the middle if that's Malicos. So I don't think that's Malicos. That wouldn't make any sense. Why would so this is the thing. I would say Cal is told about this location and goes and finds it because he needs whoever is in that Bacta tank. That's what I would think. Why are you so negative? How have I been negative at all this morning? Are you just trying to start something? Not a good place for that. You're not going to last long here if that's going to be your posture. I can confidently rule out Darth Crate, says Harry. At this point in the timeline, he would not be a Darksider. He's still a Jedi, and he's hiding on Tatooine. Okay, so he would be on Tatooine with both of his arms intact, Harry, right? Because he could be in the Bacta tank on Tatooine, but I'm imagining if he hasn't gone to the dark side yet, he's got both of his arms. Whoever's in this Bacta tank doesn't have an arm. They're missing a right arm, and okay, let's do another little analysis here. This person is injured. It's to some degree. I want to show you something. So the way they step into this, their little stance here, they're hurting. So this may be as soon as they get out of the back of the tank, right? I just want you to watch the way that this person kind of takes their stance. Just watch. He looks like he's hurt. He's almost like a limp. See? It's like a limp. It's like he just woke up. He's like, ugh. He doesn't seem strong, which is why this is probably going to be a surprise. That this guy's weak. He's limping. He's missing an arm, and yet he bests Cal in a lightsaber fight. He puts on his armor immediately after getting out of the tank. That's what I'm thinking. Whoever it is, man, seems like a final fight cinematic. No, Sven, it's got to be. This is early because this guy's got your lightsaber. In the one scene, he has your lightsaber, and that's probably where you lose it. So that could be like you get word of this guy, you go and find him, he gets out, he puts on his suit, and he fights you, takes your lightsaber, and he goes beaming back to whoever this guy is, and he's like, yeah, we got his lightsaber. We got him. We got Cal Kestis. Correct. He loses his arm much later after Luke and Mara are married and the Jedi Academy's up and moving, but all those are now legends and are no longer canon. I think that's what I'm saying, Sane. I think he releases him and then he turns on Cal. The blaster we have is Sears as well. How do you know that? Do you get a good shot of it in this trailer? How do we know it's Sears' blaster? Is this the last Star Wars with EA? I have no idea. He stands like Maul does at this time in his life, but no way Maul hates the Empire. He would never leave Crimson Dawn to fight for them. Yeah, Maul also wouldn't be missing an arm, would he? I don't think it's Darth Maul. What if Cal beats him and puts him in the tank? Maybe. I mean, they could be totally messing with us. They show Cal lose his lightsaber. They show that this guy has your lightsaber. They could be 100% messing with us and showing things completely out of order. They like to do that in trailers, for sure. Dark Revan is not possible. Is finished in 2023. What, is EA not making Star Wars any more Star Wars games after 2023? I mean, Respawn's making this game. So, well, I guess that's under EA's umbrella. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not Revan at all. Is that lightsaber in the case definitely Cal's? It is 100% Cal's, yes. Yes. They're very intentional in this trailer. They show you Cal's lightsaber on the ground, and then they show it in the case. Like, to remove any doubt. If you're like, I can't really remember what it looks like. No, they removed out. They show you the lightsaber up nice and close on the ground, and then it's in the case. Just not exclusive to EA. Yeah, it's just not exclusive. That's what I thought, Mo. They definitely... So right there they show it, and then right here, you get a great look at it. You get a fantastic look at the lightsaber. So you can see... I mean, you can see the handle, you can see where the button is, you can see where the hilt is. That's Cal's lightsaber. And so when this guy opens his case, there's not supposed to be any doubt in your mind that this guy's looking at Cal's lightsaber. That is one-to-one the one that we just saw on the ground. The grip, the button, the hilt, one-to-one identical. And so the question is when does he get this and why? Pretty sure EA lost the Star Wars exclusivity, not the license. Right, they just lost exclusivity, yes. Cal's lightsaber is fixed now with no double end part, so that means single lightsaber for us. I thought the double thing was corny anyway, if I'm honest. I don't know. I didn't think it was... It didn't feel... It was definitely cool, but I didn't feel like I used it all that often. I don't know. It was nice for like little spammy ankle biters and some of the enemies that would kind of surround you, but it didn't feel like it was finessed enough. It felt sloppy. I don't know. That could be total subjective opinion. It basically is, but it didn't feel like it had the finesse of the others. I did like when you could like break it in two and do like a little combo. I thought that was pretty dope. I thought that was pretty cool. EA will make Star Wars games, but other people like Ubisoft now get the opportunity. Yeah, because Yubi's working on one. We got a lot of Star Wars games on the horizon. If you really think about it, there's actually quite a bit of Star Wars games on the horizon. So the question is how good do they all end up being, right? I agree. I only use the double for crowds, never in a boss fight. I'd love to have dual wield. Yeah, dual wield would be pretty cool. That might be what they do. I'd much rather have the option to dual wield sabers and have double-ended. I was always kind of annoyed by that, Harry, because you would go dual wield for like a split second. You do like that little like combo move, and then that would kind of be the end of it. That was all. It wasn't, there wasn't any other instances where you did it. And I always thought, man, that'd be freaking baller, especially when you fight Malicos, because Malicos is doubled up. If I see Starkiller, I'm gonna scream. You know what they could do? I mean, they could give Starkiller a cameo and then just give him his own game. You know what I mean? Because I felt like The Force Unleashed 2 was so not that great. It just was not that great. Lightsaber in a suitcase might not be in the game. The first game's trailer had Cal sitting in a campfire in Dathomir looking at Order 66, which never showed up in the final game. That is true. That is a thing now. They're putting things in trailers that never end up in final cuts of movies as well. It's just purely designed for cinematic purposes. They come up with like scenes and stuff that never end up happening. That happened with Horizon Forbidden West. You go and rescue Aaron from the guys, and there's like the big, elephant or whatever. That never happens in the game. Not even a side mission. Second one sucked, but I liked the first one. All I remembered from the second Force Awakens 2 was Darth Vader being like, I have killed you 1,000 times. And he said it like 8 different times in the fight. He just kept repeating the dialogue. It just was not a very good game. It was so rushed. It was so clear that the second Force Awakens was Force Unleashed was so rushed. It could be doing a cliffhanger thing, have the whole game be searching for the guy in the tank, and at the end, with losing the saber to set up a trilogy. Yeah, maybe. I definitely think they're going to do a trilogy for sure. I can't see them just doing 2 and being done, because the first game was so great. I still think BD ends up on Tatooine. I still think BD1 ends up on Tatooine. If you guys are just tuning in, we're doing a Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer breakdown. Thanks so much for being here. There are people guessing who's in the tank. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. All right? Jedi Survivor trailer. Who is in the tank? All right? We got Starkiller. Somebody said Darth Krayt. Darth Krayt got ruled out. Cal Clone. Is Cal spelled with a C? I think it is. And then his last name is spelled with a K, right? Yeah. C. It's a Cal clone or new character entirely. New character. So Starkiller, Darth Krayt, Cal clone, new character. We ruled out Darth Krayt though. So should we even put that in there? Who should we put instead of Darth Krayt? Yo, what's good, Brandon? Cal's Master? No, Cal's Master's like big and purple and not human. Yeah, there's no way that's his master. He looks at him as if he doesn't know. There's no familiarity there. He anticipates being, finding this, but that's not him. Darth Talon? All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're not going to put Darth Krayt in there. Starkiller, new character, or a Cal clone. Yeah, Jaro, is that his name? Yeah, he's like a different race. I dislike the name Jedi Survivor for real. Fallen Order was so much better and more memorable. I thought Jedi Hidden Order was such a great freaking name. Like, you'd be the Hidden Order. It'd be Cal trying to get things up and running again. You know what I mean? I think it's a Luke clone or a Starkiller blonde. Can come off white and water. You think it's Qui-Gon. Maybe the reason Cal backs away from the lightsaber is that the guy removes his cloak and surprises him with shock. No. That slide back is a survival fear. Like, he's overwhelmed with fear. And I'm telling you, it's because that guy gets out of the back of the tank, puts on his armor, stumbles out, and beats him. And Cal is like, oh my gosh, I'm in over my head. This guy's got one arm. He's been in a back of the tank, and he just whooped me in a fight. I better get the frick out of here. I wonder if there's any indications. I wonder if there's any indications in the fight that he's in an old facility, because the facility certainly looks old. Like when he steps out right here, is there any indication? No. See, this looks like a fairly up and running facility. You've got auto guns shooting at Cal. You got red lights and blue lights and other light sources in the frame. Now, obviously, it's just a great shot here. Such a good setup. I love it. That's just great. So Star Wars. Yeah, this right here is clearly a functioning facility of some kind. So it might not be as close, because wherever that back the tank is, it is not in some new up and running facility. It is in some abandoned outpost somewhere where there's vines overgrown and stuff. Why would Cal release him? Because he's looking for him. Right? He's looking for him. This right here, this scene is, we found it. We found the thing we're looking for. And BD's, look at that. Look at that. BD is hesitant. Watch. BD's like, whoop. Like, that guy seems scary. That guy seems kind of scary. BD knows more than we do, apparently. He's like, I don't know about this guy, bro. You might want to leave him in that tank. Gonna be someone from the old Republic era. New character, says Drexen. That's the first scene in the game before character creation. But wait a minute. You think we create our character? No, I don't think we're doing that. We're not creating our character. We're playing as Cal. That was confirmed. That was confirmed recently in maybe in the presser about this game, that you're playing as Cal again. He is the lead protagonist. Now, I still think that leaves room to play as Marin, the Night Sister, and Seer, the one who she reconnects with the Force at the end to fight Darth. It's definitely Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Yeah, kind of looks like Malicos. Yeah, I looked at a picture of Malicos in the Discord from Sven, and the tattoos aren't there. He has a very distinct tattoo right across his chest, and I'm not seeing it when he's in the water. That'd be awesome. Obi-Wan Master Who, if it was. What? In there? No. Might be an entirely new character. I was thinking of a character from High Republic. Here's why I think it's a brand new character. So this is my take. If you guys want to vote, cast your vote at the top of the chat. The poll simply states Jedi Survivor trailer. Who is in the back of the tank? Starkiller, new character, Cal clone. Nobody's voting for Cal clone. I always love to see that. So I think it's a new character because it allows them to create an entirely new story. You just find some back the tank with some random Force-sensitive person, and you can create a whole new story. If it's somebody from anything canon, it puts you in a situation where you have to honor and work within timelines that are already established. And I just think that gets more complicated, right? It's definitely a female, so it's not a female. No, we already dispelled that notion. You can clearly see it's a male when you look at their chest. You get a very, very good picture of the person in that tank, and it is not a chick. I mean, I'm not trying to be crass, but there is a clear absence of feminine parts. We're not going to get into like a 2022 social discussion here, but this is clearly a dude in this tank here, right there. That is not a woman, because you can see rib cage here is getting hit by the light, and up. That's the pectorals of a man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can be honest about the fact that and they don't have a shirt on. You ain't walking up to some, in this game, you are not walking up to some tank with some topless chick in it. There's just no way. It's clearly a clone, same face. You think that's Cal's brow? You think that's Cal in there missing an arm? Hang on, let me cover up. Has anybody done a side-by-side? Do you think that... No. No way. I don't think the brow is right. Cal's brow is not... Okay, so there's Cal with his eyes kind of closed. Okay. That brow seems really pronounced, really strong. Almost like a straight line across. Look at the shadow. And then a slanted in forehead. Oh my gosh, yes, no, slanted in forehead, and actually that is a really strong brow. That might actually be him. Oh my gosh, nobody was picking that on the thing. Let's look at his nose. I feel like this bridge in between the eyes is too thick for the nose. That doesn't look right to me. Yeah, I don't know. The nose seems different. Maybe not. It might be the angle. It might be the angle. Yeah, that... My gosh. It's Raiden? What? Why would Cal be cloned, though? What if they go the whole twin brother route? My question is, you get so much backstory for Cal Kestis. Why would he be cloned? Listen, unless they're going to start building, and this touches on Mandalorian, right? I had theories. Jek 15 found it. Jek 15. What the frick is that? Okay, so I had theories. I had theories in The Mandalorian that Grogu was a Yoda clone, okay? And my theory was based on the idea... that the Jedi Council, upon the discovery of the cloning technology, would have sampled every single person's DNA so that they could replace the Jedi Council if it was ever overrun. Like Yoda or somebody saw the future, saw the younglings killed, saw the overthrowing of the Jedi, and basically cloned every single Force-sensitive person at the Jedi Order at that point in time, at the Jedi Academy, right? So Cal was there, Yoda was there, everybody would have been essentially, quote-unquote, backed up in some database somewhere. Because somebody had the presence of mind to be like, we got to get these people saved. Grogu's like 100 years old. No, he's not. He's like 50. That's incorrect. In the show, they established that he's like 50-something, and he says, well, because somebody questions it. Mando questions the age, and they're like, well, they age at different intervals, or they age differently or something. Grogu's in his 50s, and Grogu was there when Order 66 happens. Like, he has a memory of people getting killed at the Academy. So somebody gets him out of there. So, and the guy that checks on Baby Yoda is like wearing garb from the planet where the clones were made. So it's like somebody could have seen the future and been like, we've got this technology to build a clone army. What if we like 900 IQ this and just clone the entire Jedi Order? That we clone the Jedi Council, we clone everybody in the Academy. So when this happens, the Jedi can come surging back later on as clones. No way there's clones of the whole Jedi Order present in the universe. Seems very unlikely. No. Just people at the Academy. Cal was there. Grogu was there. Right? It would make sense. It was like, you're a clone. You were cloned at some point in time, bro. Quinlan Voss is another fan theory. Right off the bat, Voss impressed him with his growth in the dark side. Before they attempted to assassinate Dooku and Raxus, Asajj Ventress took Quinlan Voss with her to Dathomir, where she began training him to use the dark side. She took her time as she was concerned that he would not be able to walk the line, that is, using the considerable power granted the dark side. Well, I mean, I don't know why. Just because the long hair, people are thinking that it might be him. I don't think Yoda would have agreed to that ever. Too uncertain the future is. No way they're clones. And I guess the term Attack of the Clones told us all along. If you clone a Jedi, you would cause all sorts of problems with balance in the universe. Maybe, but then that would give grounds for why the Jedi lost. Right? The Jedi lost because they created imbalance, which was then answered by the dark side of the Force, and that's why they got overthrown, because they I'm not even saying they necessarily cloned them. They could have had them all backed up. But why would Grogu have been alive? I guess that doesn't work. If Grogu was alive and training at the academy, that means he already was cloned. He wasn't like backed up somewhere on a hard drive, like, hey, in case we need Yoda, clone this little guy. He was already around. So why would they have a Yoda clone just strutting around the academy? That wouldn't make any sense. That's a big hole in my theory. That's a pretty big hole. Another hole would be who on Earth would have a clone of Cal somewhere else? You know, just hanging out somewhere here. Who would have it and why? If you guys are just tuning in, we're doing a Jedi Survivor trailer breakdown. The Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 trailer essentially was released over the weekend or on Friday. I think it was like late Friday afternoon. I don't think I was streaming when this hit. Or we would have, I don't think we would have covered it on Reforge Roundtable. In Star Wars lore, it's hard to clone Force sensitives. Okay. Game rant. Who is in the back the tank? New character? Is this confirmation? Back to tanks are nothing new in Star Wars. Used in Book of Boba Fett. It doesn't seem this character frequently leaves this back to tank. However, it seems like they've been there for some time, following some unknown injury. Sharp-eyed fans are able to notice a few details that may flesh out who the character is. The scene cuts immediately to the back to tank and Cal looking in after the line, "What's your next move, Jedi?" is uttered. Whoever this is, they are implied to be a Jedi. He has long white hair, almost akin to Sephiroth, and a few markings on his skin. He is first teased in the new trailer, so whoever he is, he's clearly important to the story. People think it might be Malicos. It could be a new character brought to life. Yeah. Nobody knows. I mean, this Game Rant article is just pure speculation. We are streaming on Spectrum today. Oops. Oh well. I hope it's Star Killer, but he'd be too OP for canon. Grogu was alive before the clone army was commissioned. Okay. Well, yeah, my theory about Grogu doesn't really work then, being a Yoda clone. Yeah, I don't think it works. The timeline doesn't make any sense for my theory to work. I think it's totally possible. Think about all the stuff they uncovered at the Jedi Temple. Yeah, but the question would be, though, why would Yoda be cloned and walking around the academy? You'd have him in protection. If the whole idea was... Okay, so again, my theory, I don't think my theory holds water, but let's just test it. If the theory was we need to clone the Jedi Council as like a backup, well then why would Grogu be there? If he's a backup of Yoda in case Yoda dies or goes into hiding, you wouldn't have him at the academy. It wouldn't make any sense. I have a theory. As you see at the end, the Imperial Senator has half of Cal's lightsaber. At the last scene, I think you can see a blaster in your left pocket. We might be able to use blasters. Yeah, a lot of people think that we're going to lose our lightsaber and we're going to have to use a blaster for a certain portion of the game. Yeah. Yoda was physically on Kamino a few times. Sure. I'm not saying that rules it out. I'm just saying, why would Grogu be hanging out if he was a clone of Yoda? If you cloned Yoda, I mean, I guess you could be like, hiding him in plain sight would be the best thing. So that, I guess, could be the comeback. Well, no, hide him in plain sight, but you'd be hiding him somewhere where nobody would find him. You wouldn't have him strutting around the academy, especially, again, my theory was that they saw the future. Somebody saw the future and knew that the academy and the council and the younglings were going to get wiped out. So we better do we better get a backup of Yoda. I'd love to know who has the balls to take Yoda's DNA. That's a brave soul. That's what I mean. And apparently somebody in chat said that according to the lore, cloning someone who's Force sensitive is like really, really challenging. So that doesn't rule it out, but it certainly makes the theory again. The theory is got a lot of challenges, I think. I think it does. The clone troopers had rapid aging by design. Yeah, and they capped their age. Did they not? Don't they? Do they all... well, I guess they don't stay that age. They age at that point. They got them to that age rather quickly. Boba is a clone. He doesn't age rapidly. They did that for the clones. Yeah. Boba Fett was pure. He wasn't altered in that way. He was a clone, but they didn't alter his like growth patterns. Doesn't the cloning technology include rapid aging? So doesn't that fix the age discrepancy? Okay, yeah, people were answering your question. Yeah. They clearly were able to clone Jango and give him Boba as a son, which is sort of an odd thing. That's not really a son. It's your own. It's you. That's kind of weird. Anyway, do you know what I'm saying? It's not like they took your little swimmers and made like a baby and gave you a baby as if you had a wife. They're like, this is you. And then for that to be like your son and for him to be like, yeah, dad, and to have like this meaningful connection to your dad. It's like, but that's not what it is. It's you. It's a small version of yourself. It's a clone. Yeah, I don't think it's a clone. I don't think it's a clone of Cal. I don't. I do think their eyes and their brow are similar enough, but it's like Cal is slightly generic. So I don't know if we want to say that like, oh yeah, that's definitely him in the tank. You know what I mean? Is YouTube having issues again today? Jiminy Christmas. Or was I not paying attention? I saw like 290? Did we get that? No. That must have been a glitch in the view count. We suddenly had like 290 people. That must not have been real. I think sometimes they're trying to total the view count and they're messing it up. Seeing the clone 501st in Kenobi episode was the best part of the show. Oh, don't do that. Harry, you got it. No, man. Oh, the show, don't do that. I know people had the weekend to watch, but all I'm going to say is this. I don't want to talk Obi-Wan because there's plenty of people. That's pretty minor spoiler. That's not a big deal. That's nothing significant. That's not a character or a death or anything. Yeah, I know that's not a spoiler, but it was a pretty cool thing because I was like, I recognize that voice. In any case, the best thing Obi-Wan Kenobi does as a series is the recap at the beginning makes the prequels not look like a steaming pile of garbage. They made the prequels look amazing. That's the greatest feat I've ever seen anybody pull off with Star Wars cinema or Star Wars lore. They somehow managed to make episode 1 through 3 look epic. It was phenomenal. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh. I had goosebumps, like the use of music, the cuts. Oh, it was excellent. If you skip that recap, you're robbing yourself as a Star Wars fan. Because they literally fix the prequels in like 3 minutes. It's like, Jiminy Christmas. Well, they don't fix them, but they make it like, okay, what I'm about to watch with Obi-Wan is worth watching. So waiting on the girlfriend to watch Obi with me. Yeah, no spoilers, but you definitely 100% need to watch the recap at the beginning. No, something's definitely going on with YouTube. Something's definitely going on. It's doing that weird thing where we spike way up and then slam way down. It's like all of a sudden, it's like people are coming in and they're not able to watch or something and they're refreshing or leaving. I don't get what's going on. Is anybody getting chat? Well, I guess if you're getting chat errors or playback errors, you can't tell me. But there's clearly something going on YouTube again with serving up live service. Because they were epic? No, they were not. No. I'm not getting in that debate with people because I'm never going to change your mind. Like, there's a mountain of cinematic, high-level, highbrow, intellectual criticism of those movies. It's not worth trying to convince you. Because if you're not convinced by the monsoon of movie critics and the thoughtful breakdown of everything wrong with those movies, I'm not going to convince you on YouTube either. They could have made the recap even better if they added in the same Clone War scenes, like Satine's death, hugely influential. Yeah, that would have been cool if they were able to rope in stuff that happened in the cartoons, Harry. That would have been pretty cool. Compared to 7 through 9, there's no point in comparing them to 7 through 9. I can feed you a crap sandwich and then burn it and then be like, isn't the burnt crap sandwich worse than the crap sandwich? It's a crap sandwich either way. You know what I'm saying? You can compare them to 7 through 9. That you're cheating at that point. Listen, if you have to run to bad movies to make the prequels good, you're making my argument for me. Like, seriously, if you're like, well, they're not as bad as this, you just admitted they're crap then. Like, if that's your defense, yeah, we are just hemorrhaging viewers. What is going on YouTube? What the frick? 15 months milestone from Ganks. All the Star Wars info had me really excited for this year and next year. Then my wife reminded me of the sequel trilogy. I think we need a retcon. Yeah, they're going to make it really hard for anything future Star Wars to be cool. If you're not convinced by the existence of Episode 2 that they're poor films, there's no sense in trying. Still better. Yeah, but at that point, you're not arguing anything worth arguing, Teddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to try to convince you to not like them. But if your argument is they're better than 7, 8, and 9, you just conceded the entire argument. You basically just said, they're so bad that the only thing I can do is say they're better than the other steaming pile in the room, which is 7, 8, and 9. Like, that you just admitted they're bad. You've admitted they're bad. So at that point, why even bother? Why are we bother arguing about it? 1 through 3 and 7, 8, and 9 are all bad in their own way. They're just bad. They're bad. I'm just saying the scale and scope was epic. Oh, on paper? Teddy, on paper? Oh my gosh. If you just put the story beats on paper, sure. Yeah. You got to ignore the script. You got to ignore everything else. You just have, that's what the recap does, right? The prequel recap at the beginning of Obi-Wan, like that's what it does. It just gives you all the really great bullet points and skips over lines like, I hate sand. Like, you get to skip all that nonsense. You could do the same thing. You could do a recap of the prequels and just show all the terrible, god-awful scenes and be like, oh my God, how did this all happen? But they took all the best parts out. You know what I mean? That's why it's worth watching. It's like, okay, if I'm going to watch Obi-Wan, I need to care about him and what's going on. It's Ewan McGregor, and they're like, we're really going to make you care about him. Look at the freaking crap this guy went through. Clone Wars redeemed a lot of the prequels. Oh, the cartoons. Yeah. Yeah, but Duel of the Fates. Morning, Lono. Still haven't heard much talk about Andor. Really looking forward to that one. I enjoyed Rogue One so much. That's probably the one I'm just kind of shrugging at. I don't know. I have no idea. I like the politics of the prequels. Also, what is that? Oh, I get it. Jar Jar equals the goat. Yeah, whatever. Did somebody order coffee? Oh, no. Okay, you're just putting coffee emblems in the chat. Guys, if you enjoy my stream and you want to support it directly, consider doing a membership. We do not run advertisements during these live streams almost at all, so we do need membership in order to do what we do. $5 a month adds up a lot if tons of people do it, and we give you plenty of perks. You get access to a weekly AMA stream where you can inquire about YouTube and gaming and things I just don't talk about in view of the public. We do a Friday night stream with my wife, and once a month that Friday night stream is community game night. You also get increased access to my Discord. Now, those of you on Tier 1, if you upgrade to Tier 2, you enhance those 4 perks. We had a bunch of Tier 2 people submit games for Friday night with my wife and I, and we played through 3 of them this last Friday. It was hilarious. We played MLB The Show, Worms WMD, and Night Ghost Hunt, or whatever that game was. The Ghost Hunt game didn't work exactly for what we were trying to do, but it was still funny. Story's amazing. The writing, the characters, the acting, cinematography, the saber dancing, and focus is all trash in 1 through 3. Meanwhile, 7 through 9 was crap on paper. No, disagree. 7 is totally fine. 7 is safe. 7 is just totally fine and safe. There's nothing inherently wrong with 7. 8 comes in and craps all over 7. And so, sure, I can paint a very basic painting. And it's not phenomenal, it's not bad, it's just a very basic painting, and I hang it on the wall. And then you come in the room and you paint right next to it, and you're splattering literal fecal matter all over the room, and it splashes on my painting. Yeah, you just made my painting worse. That's what the 8th movie does. It walks in the room and it's like, oh my gosh. Let me just fling big fat piles of dung at the wall. It's going to splatter and splash, and it's going to make 7 worse. That's what happened. 7 was not that. 7 wasn't bad, and it wasn't exceptional. It was a safe springboard. And movie number 8 comes in and is just like spraying crap all over the room. Just spraying it all over the room. Han's a deadbeat dad is not inherently wrong. Han is a deadbeat dad is not inherently wrong. Come on now. They were all dealing with their grief in their own way. How is he a deadbeat dad? What's he supposed to do? Chase down a Jedi? We didn't get anything about that. We didn't get anything about that. Yeah, it's intended to be the same movie. It's intended to be a baton pass from movie 4. It's like, it's also meant to show that the Force is cyclical. Like, these things happen in cycles. Like, it's meant to be that way on purpose. That's why I said it's safe and mediocre. There's nothing inherently terrible about it. And then movie number 8 comes in and is like, we're going to make 7 worse. The bait and switch with Rey and Finn kind of ruined 7 for me. I'm not sure what you mean, the bait and switch. Like poetry, it rhymes. 8 was worse, somehow. 7 is a solid 7 out of 10. Yeah, there was nothing. It was basically just like, hey, we're gonna do a whole new era of Star Wars, you know? How'd you come away with Han being a deadbeat dad from Ben turning on Luke? Yeah, I don't get that. Like, we don't know what Han's involvement was. We don't know what his involvement was, but he ran away. Like, he dealt with the grief in a different way. What are you going to do when your kid goes crazy and kills a bunch of people and turns to the dark side? Just hang around and be like, well, I guess I'll become a farmer and deal with the pain. Like, no, he ran. That's in his nature, is to be on the run. He went to what was familiar and what was comfortable. Bait and switch meaning that the trailers made it seem like Finn was going to be the main character. I don't know anybody that watched the trailers for that movie and thought that Finn was going to be the main character. What trailers did you watch? It was clear as frickin' day that Rey was the lead. I had my numbers mixed up. 7 was not bad, but 8 was straight dumpster fire. That's what I mean. Like, 7 is tolerable. It's like, okay, that was pretty safe. You've set the stage for the characters, you know, and what they did to Han Solo by killing him was something that was at the request of Harrison Ford. So you can't really get angry about that. Harrison Ford's like, I'll come back, but you have to kill me. He's like, I don't want to be in these movies anymore. I did think Finn was going to be the Force-sensitive one. Well, I mean, but again, that could have been part of the plan. The second movie could have elaborated on that, but the second movie crapped on every single character arc. Maybe not main, but the Jedi. But that's what I mean. Again, they set the stage for a lot of possibilities, and then movie number 8 comes along and says nothing cool is going to happen or be built upon. We're just going to do that. We're just going to do this stupid side story that doesn't make any sense. I think the trailers also showed Finn holding a lightsaber. Yeah. God Howard says, "Where's Yubi's Star Wars game?" No idea. 8 ruined the entire franchise. Yeah. Just yeah. I said that the other day, Teddy. You weren't even here and I said that. I said movie number 8 quite literally ruined all of Star Wars. It was like everything is leading to this moment and you basically turned the whole franchise into a freaking joke. The whole franchise gets turned into a joke in that movie. The midichlorians come close to doing that all by themselves. Ruining all the lore, all the mystery, all the intrigue. Midichlorians are a clear leader for ruining the franchise, and movie number 8 comes along and says, oh, you have no idea what I'm gonna do. 2 ruined it, 8 killed its comeback. Yeah, like they could have put the rider back on the horse, but you know, nope. Let's have 3 different directors with 3 different visions for what the movie should be. That'll make for a great trilogy. What 8 did to Kylo, Snoke, and the franchise as a whole, which put people in jail. My gosh. If you're just tuning in, we're getting on to the movies, which happens every time we talk Star Wars. We're doing a Jedi Survivor trailer breakdown. Give me some likes, man. I don't know what happened. We were doing wonderful, and then something happened on YouTube, and we lost all of our momentum. I swear to frick, they're still struggling with live streaming on the platform. Like, I feel like every single time we're seeing momentum, something weird happens. Like, we literally climbed to 230, and then this massive dip happened, and we haven't recovered since. Something weird is going on YouTube again. And we still haven't gotten gifted memberships. We really need them to just get out the spit shine and polish this platform, man. And make it so hard to be a live streamer. It's so hard to be a YouTube live streamer. It's like there is 0 things that seem to work well and consistent on this platform for live streaming. You people are crazy. The kid holding a broom handle at the end of 8 is pure genius. A genius. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. That was all we needed. That was all we needed was that kid and that frickin' broom. It's the pattern for trailers nowadays. They allude to other things or even edit out important figures or change scenes. Trailers are almost just released for people to speculate. Only the issues with the directors, artists will be artists, but leadership had no solid vision like the MCU. But the issue is with the directors. I 100% lay the garbage trilogy at Rian Johnson's feet. I lay it at his feet. It's his fault. It is 100% his fault. You can't go back to the leadership and just blame them. He had every ability to pick up the ball and run with it, and he didn't. He turned around, ran in the opposite direction, and scored an own goal. It was like, no, it's on him. All of 7, 8, and 9's problems are on his shoulders. I 100% lay them at his feet. It was a stupid idea to have 3 directors, but he didn't have to come in and go big stupid and be like, I'm gonna really show this was a dumb idea. No, it's his fault. It will always be his fault. It will never not be his fault. He did it. Nobody else did it. Nobody forced him to do what he did. It's 100% on Rian Johnson. Leadership should have vetoed. Well, at that point, what are they going to do? He had no idea what he was doing. He took a dump on the foundation that was set up with 7. Yeah, we're subverting expectations. Yeah, he went full stupid. He went full stupid. Because they could have been like, let's get 3 directors, and it could have been phenomenal. The movies could have been somewhat cinematically distinct from each other, somewhat like artistically different, but it could have been one cohesive story, right? It could have been one cohesive story. Instead, he set his sights on subverting expectations and detonating story arcs, which is like, that's just direction malpractice. What the frick are you doing? You don't do that in a trilogy. You don't. If you want to do like a mystery movie or something of that, that's why he's so good with Knives Out. I'm looking forward to the sequel. I'm looking forward to Knives Out too, because I think he's really good in that realm. Like, that's the place where you want to subvert expectations. You don't subvert expectations in a trilogy with characters and story beats and arcs and foreshadowing. You don't do that. What's the frickin' point of having a trilogy then if you're going to do that? You completely detonate the entire idea of a trilogy. Yeah, Rian Johnson was the director of Episode 8, and he defended himself by saying he wanted to subvert the viewer's expectations. So he ruins Luke Skywalker, the icon and centerpiece of the Star Wars universe at that point in time. Just ruins him. Leadership should have made a full trilogy and stuck to it. Artists will always go off and do their own artsy stuff. His fault, but leadership could have had restrictions. Oh, for sure. Swap Ryan for JJ. 7, 8, 9 would have been better trilogy. I mean, I don't know if JJ could have carried the trilogy. I really don't. I think he did a fine job with 7, but I don't think he would have taken it to new heights. I think it would have just been a big, super safe, predictable trilogy with JJ at the helm. I don't know. I really like Rogue One. I'm excited for Andor. I liked Rogue One myself, but I don't know how excited I am for Andor. If you guys are tuning in and you're interested in Jedi Survivor trailer breakdown, that's what we're doing. We want to know who you think is in the back to tank. Jedi Survivor trailer, who's in the back to tank? Most people are saying new character. Some people are saying Star Killer. Some people are saying Cal clone. We did sort of analyze the brow and the nose shape of the person in the back to tank, and it certainly feels as though there could be similarities between the two, for sure. There could be. But Reforge Gaming. You freaking gotta search. Gotta do my daily search for Reforge Gaming. Andor is not on my to-do list, honestly. Rogue One has the best Vader scene in cinema. I don't know about that. Him choking that guy out in when that guy's like, this bickering is pointless. Like that's a great scene. Oh, that's such a good scene, man. Vader totally flexes on that guy. And the reason it's good is Vader flexes on the guy in such an unusual way, you know? Such an unusual way. She's just force choking him. I find your lack of faith disturbing. Oh, come on. That's his best scene, bro. Getting to go nuts with a lightsaber. It's cool, but it's such a big step out of body. It's like, wait a minute. When did Darth become this crazy, you know? Have you seen the Bad Batch Season 2 trailer? Thought it looks dope. No, I haven't seen the trailer for that. I didn't even get into Bad Batch Season 1. Do you think the games and the movies writing staff are in the same office? Oh, not at all. No. Rogue One was Vader at peak power, just sweeping people aside with the Force. That's what I mean. Like, it's a great scene, but I wouldn't go so far as to be like, oh, it's his best scene in all the movies. I love his understated scenes when you can tell he's holding back. When he's just playing with Luke in Empire, or when he chokes the guy out in A New Hope, you know? That scene was right in step with who Vader, Anakin is. When he choked that guy, the goosebumps, even young, you could tell he was a phenomenal villain. Yeah. We may never see him at his peak. Last Jedi killed the franchise? Yep, really? Yes. That's not how that meme is supposed to be used. Did you make that, Hilly? That's not how that meme is supposed to be used. It's been reversed. He's supposed to just sit there and not say anything in the final frame. Vader in Rogue One isn't even his peak. He's old then. That's what I mean. It's such an out-of-body thing. It's like, wait a minute. At that point, that's what Vader can do? Rogue One's not that far from A New Hope, is it? They're pretty close together in the timeline. And Vader's just like, cling, wham, wham, wham. And then he shows up in New Hope and Empire, and he's kind of like, you know, he's a little geriatric. He's a little slow going. Andor will have 2 seasons. It's official. Oh, just 2? I mean, what are you going to do with that story? It's a few months apart. Are they is it that close? If it's that close, then that scene's stupid, then. Oh, right, because that scene... No, yeah, I forgot. That amazing scene literally leads to the point where they hand the plans to Leia. And she's like, Hope. It's like... It might even be minutes apart. She's like, yeah, we got the plans. Let's get the frick out of here. She never gets the plans to where they're going. So that Rogue One runs right into New Hope. Vader goes from that to... Yeah, see, no, that scene's stupid then, in my mind. That's just fan service nonsense. You go from that scene to, like, what? A couple months or a week later, and then, oh yeah, they find Leia, and the plans are still in her possession. She hasn't even landed. The ship hasn't docked. And he's strutting around her ship just slowly moving around and choking people out and stuff. See what I'm saying? That's what Vader is supposed to be, this menacing, you don't know how strong he is. It's the rule of showing less, right? Alfred Hitchcock did this brilliantly, right? You show less, it's more interesting, it's more terrifying, it's more scary, there's more intrigue the less you show. They show way too much in that scene. You know, Vader just throwing people around and stabbing people with his lightsaber. And then like a couple months later, Vader's slowly walking around and choking people out, and that's what he's doing. Would his peak be when he's like 75 or like 25? Vader is the infamous Jedi hunter, Jedi killer. My imagination is terrifying. Vader isn't even trying, though. It still shows less. You can tell he can do so much more. I guess. It's just such a tone shift, you know? It's such a big tone shift, Harry. It's like real, just moseying around when they get to Leia's ship, you know? He's just moseying around. It's like, all right, let's see what we got here. You know, you are part of the Rebel Alliance and a spy. Take her away. You know, and before, you know, a couple months before that, he's like, Pyaw! He's like Bruce Lee. Come on. I don't know. I'm not saying I didn't like the scene. It's just when you realize how close that scene is to when he's standing toe-to-toe with Leia, it's like, you know, a couple of weeks or a couple of months have gone by. You know, they zip out of there, and eventually the Empire finds them to the point that they find them before they can even dock. Like, they don't, because she has the plans. She's still holding on to the disc. Vader's best scene is in Jedi Fallen Order. The way Vader is just a force of nature is awesome. He literally freezes Cal in place and throws him around like a rag doll. Oh, I love that scene, Caleb. I love it. Trilla is my favorite character in Jedi Fallen Order. She steals every scene that she's in, man. When you finally get to see her face and she's talking to Cal, she is masterful at the psychological warfare. Like, that's what the dark side's always doing, right? Attacking the psychology of the opponent. You know, Obi-Wan has taught you well. Invoking Obi-Wan, invoking this superiority of, like, your training, you're not that strong, you're not that impressive. Like, oh yeah, by the way, the guy that I killed, he trained you pretty well. The psychological warfare that the people, you know, dark side wielders always use, she was so good. The voice actor was just phenomenal. But then, when she realizes that she's made a huge mistake, and she tells Cal, is Seer standing there as well? And she's like, avenge us. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. That's one of the best scenes in anything Star Wars out there. It's beautiful. It's like, oh, wow. That's why I want her to come back. You have to take the fights in all the different shows and movies in broad strokes. Different cinematic flavors and techniques are never going to match. Well, sure, because in A New Hope, like Obi-Wan and Darth are almost sizing each other up. They're not even really fighting. They're just playing around. It's like, well, we had a really, really fast fight a long time ago. Now we're both really strong in the Force, so we've got to be really careful. We can't just go flailing these swords around. I stopped watching and care after Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. I'm so lost. Vader at the end of Fallen Order is amazing. That's peak Vader. Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. In that, oh my gosh, yes. He is just freaking baller out. I mean, he's nobody can cross him. Him showing up is terrifying. Trilla immediately freezes and can't move. You hear him breathing, and that's all it takes. My man walks in the room, and he's like, nobody's leaving. You know what I'm saying? Vader doesn't even speak. Just walks in the room. You just hear like... You're like, oh, we're dead. Nobody can move. It's like when Professor X shows up and everything, all of time freezes, you know? Ripping the building apart and throwing it at you. Yeah. Even ignoring how much the prequels suck, you gotta end up saying, yeah, those two had a sword fight. Yoda's 900 and doing triple backflips. Do I have to? Do I have to admit that happened? If you look at the last fight of Maul and Obi, it's samurai-esque, and it helps with the look of the New Hope fight versus the prequels. Fallen Order came out of nowhere for me. Not a huge Star Wars fan, but I love the game. Same Vader at the end of Rogue One. How much time has passed between the end of Fallen Order, though, and the end of Rogue One? In Jedi Fallen Order 2, I mean, I wonder if they're going to have Vader show up again. Or if they're just going to do that one time as like a big surprise. Episode 4 wasn't made in the late 60s. It came out in 77. So at earliest, it was filmed in 75. Oh, was somebody saying late 60s? Oh, yeah. So you think that's why, Creature? You think that's why that guy's been instructed to do that? You think it's coming from the big man himself? If you guys are just tuning in, we're obviously debating the movies, lore, the characters. We're looking at this Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer breakdown. We want to know who you think is in the Bacta tank. Is it a new character? Is it a clone of Cal? Is it, what's the other one we got? Is it Starkiller? People really want Starkiller in this game. Yo, what's good, Radical? Never played the first title. It's still on on the maybe list. I think it's well worth a play, Rad. Well worth a play. It's worth it just for Trilla. I think it's worth it for Trilla and Marin. If you like really, really strong female characters, they have a couple characters in this game that need their own frickin' game. I want to play a prequel as Trilla, just growing in her dark side powers. And then the game would end with her hearing about some guy named Cal Kestis, and that'd be the end of the game, you know? I just need a game where I get to play as Trilla, and I get to grow in the dark side. I think Trilla and Marin are some of the best female characters I've seen in games lately. Seer is really good too. Actually, yeah, 3. There's 3 exceptionally strong female characters in Jedi Fallen Order that could have their own frickin' games. It's funny. Did you see the report come out that when Jedi Fallen Order was pitched, the writers really, really wanted to do a strong female lead, and they got shot down? So it's not surprising that as soon as it's not Cal Kestis, it's just 3 strong female characters, like one after another. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost like Seer or Marin or Trilla were meant to be the lead. One of them was meant to be the lead character. Do you see what I'm saying? It was like they wanted so badly to have a strong female Jedi lead that they baked one of them in somewhere else. Surprisingly, got shot down. Oh, it's not shocking at all. Gamers and Star Wars fans would have been like, I don't want to play as a girl. You know how people get. You know how gamer bros get. I would have friggin' loved it. That's why I said when Marin, in the game, Marin holds the lightsaber. And you can tell she loves it. You being facetious? I don't think you're being facetious. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, sarcastic. Like, oh, it's shocking it got shot down. Yeah. I'm not surprised they shot it down. Well, I mean, if you're looking at the market research in your target audience, listen, I'm just going to say it. I don't think they're wrong to say, listen, we want to sell lots of copies of this game. And all market research points to the fact that if you're going to do a Star Wars game with a lead character, it needs to be a guy. We're trying to sell copies of the game, not make a statement here, right? And we can have an amazing game with amazing characters and amazing representation. Like, the second most seen character in the game is, I'm fairly certain Trilla has some form of ethnicity to her, and Seer is clearly a black woman, and then there's Marin. So, like, I would say they did a perfectly fine job of being like, listen, we want to maximize sales. It's got to be a guy on the lead. Like, that's just the way the frickin' world is right now. But we're going to have a supporting cast that absolutely knocks it out of the ballpark. Like, the supporting cast is incredible in Jedi Fallen Order. To be fair, there's a lot of great ladies who have their own games. It's also okay for dudes to be main characters. Yeah, like, I'm totally okay with them saying, listen, this is Star Wars. Like, we've absolutely got to have our maximized sales and our shareholders in mind here. Like, we know we're going to sell significantly better if it's a strong male lead. Not even a strong male lead. It's the outcast male lead. That's such a common trope in stories. Harry Potter, Luke Skywalker, like the outcast male lead, you know, the chosen one. The chosen one, outcast male lead. Neo in the Matrix, Harry Potter, Luke Skywalker. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. I would buy a Trilla prequel. I'd love for some more Star Wars games that follow the dark side. Not like Battlefront 2's bait and switch, though that campaign sucked. Trilla would be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal as a lead character. There are too many female lead characters. I think we are past that phase in history. Wait a minute. Are you saying that? Are you saying that sarcastically? There are too many female lead characters? Really? I don't even know if they're close to matching how many male leads there are. We've got some great female lead characters right now. We certainly do. I think sometimes people overstate the absence of female lead, but I wouldn't say we have too many. I always play as a dude when I'm given a choice because it's more relatable. Ubisoft said most gamers pick the male choice in Assassin's Creed. Yeah, it's a freaking joke. It's a freaking joke. Valhalla should have been female lead, no option to pick male. They should have just done it. But again, they know how gamer bros are, and it would have hurt sales. Given a choice who to play as in a game, I'm going Vader every time, but my second choice is Ahsoka. Oh, I would love an Ahsoka game. Oh my gosh, yes. Because you could make it look like the cartoon, and it'd be its own style. You know, it'd be almost a little bit like a Fortnite action-adventure game. She'd look so awesome. She'd look freaking great. Odyssey should have only been Cassandra, too. Yeah. Odyssey should have been Cassandra. Valhalla should have been whatever her name is. I don't know her name. Because Origins would have been a perfect final male lead game. Because Bayek is a fantastic lead for Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Origins is my favorite Assassin's Creed. But after that, yeah, you could have given it to Eivor and Cassandra. Easy decisions in my book. Because Origins could have been the last male lead for a while and it'd have been totally fine. Because Bayek was such a great lead and such a great story. He just looked awesome. Let me be Anakin to fulfill the prophecy and become a god. I'm really worried about Jedi Survivor because according to trades, the game will mostly be Cal on his own. According to leaks, I think you meant to say. Like the ensemble cast that made the first game. I'm going to play it, but that has me worried. I'm worried too. And again, if you guys are having difficulty, YouTube is doing something. What in the world is going on today? If you're having to refresh or you're having trouble, I just want you to know it's not me. I'm not like bad at streaming or have a bad internet connection. Something's happening on YouTube again today. I can't figure out what is going on. It's like I don't get it at all. We just had a ton of people tune in and then a ton of people leave at the same time. I think it's either the chat's glitching again and people are trying to refresh the talk-in chat, or it's doing that weird error thing. It might be doing that weird playback error. Eivor definitely should have been the lead. Yeah, they designed it for her to be the lead. You know? If they minimize the supporting cast in Jedi Fallen Order 2, I'm going to be super disappointed. Something's definitely up with YouTube. I think the audio keeps going all crackly and horrible. Refresh and it fixed. Oh, the audio is acting up for you. That's great. Problem with the lore and stuff like BF5, women didn't fight in the war, but they added them and it kills the vibe. Not saying I have an issue with it, but that's what others look at, and I always pick the chick. I mean, I didn't understand why people got so bent about the Battlefield stuff. That didn't make any sense to me at all. How many, how many people boot up a game like Battlefield and get out their war history Wikipedia, Encyclopedia Britannica books and double check all the weapons, all the ammunition, all the clothing, all the vehicles? Like, have you ever done that? Have you ever cared that much and been like, well, I got to make sure that the all these weapons and ammunition and car types, and we got to make sure all these Jeeps use the right tires. You know what I mean? Battlefield was weird to hear women screaming all the time. I didn't play it. But I just didn't understand why people cared. I preferred letting the player make their own character. I choose to play as a female in Cyberpunk. I like the female actor. Well, apparently the female voice actor in Cyberpunk is significantly better than the male. I played as the male in Cyberpunk, and I felt like I was listening to a guy who was half asleep. It was like he was asleep. Women have been fighting in wars for hundreds of years. Have you not heard of women dressing up as men to fight? Yeah, I didn't understand why it didn't seem like such a big deal. Oh, it was odd hearing women screaming in pain on the battlefield. I don't do that, but to me, it's just a game. Who cares in the end? I don't care that much, but if you're an army nut, then it might bother you. It'd be weird for somebody to be playing a Battlefield game as an army nut and getting that big of a quibble. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is that worthy of the quibble? Like, do they? That's what I'm saying. Do army buffs play those games and get deep into the guns that are used and the vehicles that are used? Like, I'm just wondering. So has every single Battlefield prior to that one been like 100% historically accurate? I don't know. My nephew asked why I was playing as a girl in Horizon Forbidden West. I explained that she is awesome and it's her story. He was like, cool. Yeah, most kids would be curious. Because, like, my kids would be curious because most of the games that we've played, you can, like, design your own character, like in Switch Sports and stuff. And so they'd be like, why are you, Papa, why are you playing as a girl? Actually, they might not ask me that because the first couple of games they've seen me play, they just think that they're cool. Because, like, I showed my daughter the Horizon Forbidden West game. I showed them Ghost of Tsushima a little bit. And they're like, oh, man, these games are awesome. Like, my daughter's like, I want to play that ninja game. And I'm like, oh, you mean the samurai game? She's like, well, I wouldn't want to be a samurai because samurais fight ninjas. And she wants to be a ninja. But whenever I showed her Horizon Forbidden West, she got really excited because of the bow and arrow. And obviously, she thought it was cool because it was a girl. Battlefield's always been authentic, but not realistic. Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042 broke that trend. I think it's important to remember we're playing games. I can't scrutinize the way every game handles mental health. I'll go nuts. Her logic is sound. Yeah. She doesn't want to play a samurai game. Yeah. Battlefield had an image of realism in terms of atmosphere. Adding female characters changes it into a more gamey atmosphere instead of a more accurate one of the setting. I mean, I could understand people being a little miffed if they've been playing those games up until that point and feeling like, oh man, these games are always hyper accurate. I just never knew that was the identity in the push. You know what I'm saying? It never felt like that kind of a game to me. It just didn't. But that's my perspective. My perspective was, it's just a game with a bunch of great, big maps and lots of weapons and lots of vehicles, I never once played it and thought, yeah, this is exactly how it would be. I remember playing a Battlefield game putting mines all over the dadgum road. Just covering the road in mines. Just putting them down and clicking a button. Is that how it works? You just go out and you can just set down these dinner plate sized mines wherever you want to blow up tanks? Like, are anti-tank mines that accessible, that easy? You know what I'm saying? Is that what they would even use? Battlefield 5 specifically took place in World War I, and one of the stories followed Russia's all-female battalion who actually fought on the Eastern Front. Wait, so then they actually did something that was historically accurate? People just always look for something to be angry about sometimes. To go back to Star Wars, can we talk about how it's freaking amazing that Pawns looks in the close-up? I know it's not gameplay, but it looks flawless. Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I know it's not gameplay either, but there's one thing I will say. Cal in the cutscenes looks a lot like Cal in the game. So this guy here, if he is in the game, if you face this guy, Yeah, I'm imagining he's going to look a lot like him. It's not about gameplay realism. It's about the atmosphere and the theme and the immersion. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't play the game, so I don't have a strong opinion. Oh. Yeah, I think he looks really good, Harry. I think he looks really good. Playing AC Valhalla as a guy was weird. There were too many male-to-male romance characters to compare to like 2 to 3 female options. If you showed me that and said it was real, I wouldn't question it. I'm not sure what you're saying, Caleb. Atmosphere or immersion equals no women or persons of color in my video games. I'm not sure what you mean. What you're meaning. Are you saying that they're disguising a mean claim with, oh, it's my atmosphere and my immersion? So are you saying they use that as like cover for basically being like, I don't want women or persons of color in my video games? Is that what you're saying? I was being sarcastic as an excuse. Okay, I was just trying to understand what it is that you were driving at, because I didn't think, based on your chat contribution up to this point, I was like, I don't think you're saying that. Yeah, I think there's definitely dudes that could be like, no, you could have a guy that loves playing as a woman in Forbidden West, Tomb Raider, or whatever, but when they go to play Battlefield, if they felt like it was historically inaccurate, they could be critical of that and not be being some like misogynistic jerk. They're just like, this isn't how this should be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine historically there were these warriors, and these warriors were 100%, male and from like some Norwegian part of the world or something. Maybe not Norwegian. Let's just say there's some historical warrior group that was known for the region of the world they're from is they're very light-skinned, they're very tall, and they're all dudes, right? And somebody wants to make a game about that warrior group, and they make the main character like a dark-skinned female. It would make perfectly good sense for somebody like, this is stupid, why are you doing this? And they're not being a jerk. They're just like, what's the point in even doing this? Right? You're trying to make a game about these warriors that now it's not even about those warriors. It's something that you've just completely made up. Sorry, I should have been baiting like crazy, but I'm a little busy. Yeah, Zubair's usually in here with the bait game. If you're just tuning in, we're checking out the Jedi Survivor trailer breakdown, and we want to know what you think. Who is in the back the tank? That poll is at the top of the chat. Welcome on in and smash the like button. Viewership has been all over the place today, so I don't know if we're getting genuine viewership spikes and these are new people coming in, or if YouTube is just having trouble and people are refreshing and multiplying the view count. But I've never seen the viewership act this way. We're getting like 30 and 40 and 50 viewer spikes, and then a few minutes later they all leave. So I'm not sure what's going on. Wasn't that the argument for that one medieval game last year? I'm not sure which game you're referring to. Yeah, I played AC Valhalla as the female lead, and that's what I was hoping in Jedi Fallen Order 2, which is Jedi Survivor. I was hoping that they were going to have multiple characters be playable, and that you could play as Merrin, the Night Sister, or Seer, and then both of them would be learning how to channel their powers, reconnect with the Force, use a lightsaber, etc. And like Merrin would get to go and make her own lightsaber, and Seer would obviously be using hers again. And I don't know. Wasn't Starkiller bald? Starkiller had short hair, but like the person in the back of the tank, it seems like they've been in there for a very long time because the facility is like overrun. So the facility is is old. There's like vines and stuff hanging down. So this is some overrun facility where everything is mostly turned off. So whatever's powering the bacta tank, nothing else seems to be pulling power. So some abandoned facility. So it could be anybody, and they could be in there for a super long time. People who think that a character in the bacta is Starkiller are on some heavy copium. Respect it though. I just think people really want to see Starkiller show up, Harry. I just think they really want to see Starkiller show up. I don't think that they genuinely think it's him. I don't think it's copium. I think it's wishful thinking, right? Which I guess could be considered like some form of copium. I think it's wishful thinking. They just really, really hope that it's him. Like, oh, it'd be so great if it was him. A Vader clone? No, I don't think it's a Vader clone. My guess, yeah, it's hopium. Yeah, it's hopium, not copium. Get it right. Get it right. It's hopium. My thought is it's a brand new character. Because I think they want the freedom to not have to worry about like canonical disruption. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to use some new character that Cal learns about and has to go and find. That's what I think is going on. That'd be my guess. Is Cal is going to like try to find somebody, and that's him finding them, like, oh, here they are, we found them or whatever. And so that's just my personal take, is that it's going to be a brand new character. It'll give them the freedom to kind of do whatever the frick they want, Hey, because think about it. A rumored Jedi in a bacta tank, or a rumored, person that's force sensitive in a bacta tank somewhere that Cal needs, help from, could be pretty significant. That could be a pretty cool story beat of like, hey, you've got this new character we've never heard of, and you're not messing with anything when you do that, because you could always be like, yep, nobody knew about this guy. Yeah, they didn't know about it. Yoda didn't know about it, and the Jedi Council didn't know about this person. They've been in hiding for so long, and then you can just kind of throw them in your game. It gives you a lot more artistic freedom, I think, when you don't have to worry about those elements. We'll do live chat replay, and we'll do any duration. We'll do that, and then we'll do that. 11:45. Guys, our second stream today, we will be reacting to an Asmongold video. We will be listening to him. So I didn't know this when I picked this video, but it's a pretty popular video, and we definitely want to hit two factors if I'm going to do a reaction, talk show, because you guys are going to be a part of the discussion, obviously. If we're going to do a reaction, what in the frick is going on? I'm not going to sit here with it looping if we're just hemorrhaging viewers. Sorry, I'd rather be full screen. We are going to consider doing reaction content on a regular basis, but we're going to do it in the framework of how we do our talk show. So I'll be interacting with and reacting to the video as if it's a dialogue, debate, or a discussion. Now, I picked this video because it's relevant to a game we just covered. It's relevant to a subject that comes up all the time, and his video is it's like a recommended search right now. If you search for Diablo Immortal, he called it 200% pay to win in the title of his video, right? So I didn't know, though, that his video was a reaction video. So my reaction's a reaction to his reaction, which is a little bit meta and a little bit like funny in format, but any chance they pull from the Thrawn trilogy and go with an evil clone of Luke, Joris or something? Yeah, I don't know. Whoever they are, I just think it makes sense for it to just be some random new character. An ancient Sith who hasn't moved for thousands of years could explain why they don't walk fluidly and stumble, yet are so strong. But Palpatine would for sure sense that and not let them live for very long. Could he sense it if they were in a bacta tank and unconscious, though? Like, I don't know how that works. It's like Bo Burnham. Yes, right. You shut your mouth. At this point, I'm just so terrified that any use they make of the Thrawn trilogy would just be a travesty. Josh Drive Hayes has an infinite loop reacting to Asmon reacting to him reacting. There you go. He would sense them waking up. Oh, I get what you're saying, Harry, because this takes place in that timeline, so Palpatine would sense them waking up. It works however the plot demands it works. That era of the Sith didn't hide. We would reach out. They would reach out in the Force and assert his place. I prefer a new character, honestly, says Suede. Shoehorning an existing character is tricky. Who knows what's even canon anymore? Nice shirt. Thank you. Yeah, if you guys like my Mortal Kombat shirt, always feel free to use the shirt command. That'll take you... Right now, I'm taking you over to the 80s Tees Father's Day collection. If you're trying to snag a shirt for your dad, or your hubby or your boyfriend or whatever, and they're a dad and you want to get them a shirt, there's a great Father's Day collection over there. Be sure to use my code Lono for 30% off. That is awesome when you guys do that. It helps out a ton. The best way to support what I do is to become a member. For $5 a month, you get 4 base perks, and it supports me. You get access to extra content, and then we also have the coffee. So the coffee's not a sponsor. It's ours. My wife and kiddos ship it to you if you want to support that. That's like supporting a small business. So those are the two things we really, really push to keep doing what we do. And one of the reasons is we don't run a lot of advertisements. I stream for about 6 hours a day. We do anywhere from 3 to 4 shows a day, and we do not run lots of advertisements. I'm also safe for work. So make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell button. YouTube is being insane today. I don't know what's going on. So some people are struggling to watch, I think. Make sure and smash the like button, though. We need 11 more likes. If you want to help the video hit a like milestone of 200. The holiday's probably hurting us a little bit too, which I anticipated, but the behavior of the website today is being a little funky. I think it's going to be an Old Republic tie-in in some way. We've been trying to integrate the Old Republic since TCW. It's probably a new character, though. I'm disappointed they didn't use the Thrawn trilogy for 7, 8, and 9, although maybe they're better left alone and remain the best EU books. Could be the first Palpatine clone. I think a new character gives gives them so much ability. Now, what Harry is saying is that it has to be somebody that's canon, because if not, how are you going to explain them not being sensed by Palpatine, right? So that, I think, if I'm tracking with Harry's logic, it's like, well, no, it needs to be an existing character, because how else would you explain this Sith existing and not getting folded in? Unless they start acting like, listen, Palpatine wasn't all-knowing. There were things Palpatine didn't know about. There were things Yoda didn't know about, right? I don't know. I think it's an old-school existing character. He's waking up for guidance. Did I hear a coffee pitch? Team Dark Roast. Yeah. The new members is the big focus too. We did get one new member today. And we appreciate that so much. And right now, if you are a tier 2 or above, make sure and use the Madam Game Vote room. Madam Game Votes is a part of the Reforge Lounge. It's beneath members chat, general chat, VIP chat, name drop, and the IRL photo album. It's right there, Madam Game Votes. And right now, we have a game from Vengeance, a game from Cat, a game from Arch Enigma. Subnautica is going to be a weird one to try, but we'll do it. And then we've got Visage from Striker 1. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll raffle 3 spots, and then there'll be 1 left over. We're always going to make sure and work through the list, but make sure and get your game submitted. Cash in on that tier 2 benefit there in the Discord. What do you mean Palp has to be able to sense them? Leia was a very public figure and he didn't know. That's what I mean. I think, Eugene, what Harry was saying is that if it's a Sith and they're powerful enough to beat Cal in a lightsaber fight, then whoever it is so strong that Palpatine would have been aware of them. Leia wasn't very strong and never really tapped into her Force powers, except when she, like, flew. And she also wasn't particularly strong. No Jump King. I mean, no, Jump King is on the table. You can submit anything. You can submit anything. The only game we're saying you can't submit is Elden Ring. We're also saying to have, have the sense that the Lord gave a goose. Like, don't submit like The Witcher 3. Like, that's not going to work. We play the game for, 45 minutes to an hour. It needs to be something that we can get some entertainment out of. Picking Skyrim or Witcher 3, that's just going to be dumb. That's not in the spirit of it. So yeah, Jump King would work. There's a new game that I got a code for, and it will hit it'll hit your feed either today or tomorrow. It's called Hellstuck Survive with Friends, and that looks like that's the one that's actually going to hit today, unless Creature's going to divert to a different one. So that's going to hit Reforge First Look today. It's actually like a Jump King game you can play with other people online. So yeah, that'll be happening sometimes today. Let's be serious. The strongest Force users all have convenient blind spots when the plot demands it. Just don't overthink it. That's going to hit today at 2:40. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got a code for Hellstuck. I also got a code for Sonority, like a music-based puzzle solver. That'll hit probably tomorrow, unless we think of something else to record today before tomorrow. We're trying to hit Reforge First Look very, very consistently, and we're getting codes, so that's exciting. So she literally works in Coruscant, same place that Palp is on, is the child of the strongest Force user, can't sense her, but he has to be able to sense a dude hibernating in a back-to-tank underground. Well, no, Eugene, that also wasn't the argument. The argument was, once this guy wakes up, starts using the Force, and is that strong, Palpatine would sense him. That's the argument. Is that you can't have somebody that strong fighting somebody like Cal and Palpatine not taking notice, would be the argument. I think it's totally fine to have Palpatine's knowledge and sense limited. I think we've turned him into like almost a deity at this point. Like he's just this all-knowing God. My point is, none of that matters. He can be whoever they want it to be. Palp's ability to sense him doesn't matter. Yeah, because Palpatine could have ignored him. He would ignore Leia to keep her from Darth Vader. Yeah, I mean, Palpatine could ignore him and be like, yeah, I've looked at his timeline, I've looked at his future, he ain't gonna make it. Why? Well, because Cal Kestis is gonna kill him. And he's not worried about Cal Kestis. Why? Because Cal ain't gonna make it, That's the idea, is that eventually these characters just die. If they're stronger than Palp, couldn't they hide themselves? Maybe. Exactly. The Force is an ever-present deus ex machina. The plot makes idiots out of the most powerful beings in the galaxy because story beat? It's nonsense. We just have to accept it. Would you play Star Citizen at full release? I mean, maybe. We entertained the notion of getting into Star Citizen, but the truth of the matter is, I can't really play games on Reforge Gaming unless it's something very quick that we dabble in to show off, and then that's kind of the end of it. Like, we haven't really earned the right to do deep dives and play things at length yet. We just haven't. We are still 100% in a building phase. Like, we are not a big enough channel to start doing that. Now, we're doing it with Elden Ring, but Elden Ring and From Software games are a special breed, and we do it on Friday for From Friday, so it's like an established thing. I don't know what I can do with Star Citizen. I don't. I've had people offer me the ability to like log in and record videos, and I'm like, I don't have the time, and to be quite frank with you, it probably isn't worth my time. There's too many people already established in covering that game that I'm stepping into a competitive pool with no experience. It just probably isn't worth the effort. A brand new game comes out like New World or Lost Ark, I'll take a crack at it. We need something that's a little bit more casual. I need all these Sony live service games to start dropping, and one of two of those could be something that I frequently do a deep dive into and play and grind and analyze the new content or whatever. But I can't do anything with Star Citizen. There's just no way. The more I've looked at it, the more I thought that's going to be an afternoon of confusion, frustration, terrible metrics, and then I'm going to want to walk away from it and never come back. Palpatine also takes time out to personally eliminate dark side users who are getting too strong. Maul and Savage oppress, assuage, ventress, etc. But so a couple of things there, Harry, right? Number one, he might not sense the guy. Number two, the guy might not be strong enough to register as a threat. Number two, the guy is not going to be alive for very long. If this guy wakes up and is really strong, and he's contained in the story of Jedi Fallen Order 2 or Jedi Survivor, he's probably going to die in the game, which means Palpatine really wouldn't have time to sense him, track him, and kill him and be like, oh, well, thanks, Cal. You kind of took care of that for me. That guy seemed like he was going to be a little bit strong, and we were going to have to take him out. But, these games are usually really short timelines. What will release first, Tarkov or Star Citizen? Star Citizen's great now, but it's still very buggy. Zubair says, canon serves the story does not serve the canon. Good story is most important. Let's just agree to call it Fallen Order 2. I think we all like it better. Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order 2. All I'm saying is the rule of two is super important to the Sith. If there's a dark side presence that threatens the two true Sith, they will get dealt with. I wonder, Harry, if they're going to give themselves room to jettison out from underneath that controlling lore piece. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like they're going to work their way out from underneath that long term. Like, in a couple of years, that will be like, yeah, well, that's true, but also kind of not true. I'm not saying they're going to retcon it. I'm just wondering if they're going to give themselves loopholes. Because that feels like the kind of lore restriction that you need to eventually blast through that and be like, no, we're not gonna let this restrict us anymore. They have 2 more maps to release, and Steam Star Citizen has a whole galaxy to develop. Yeah. I think Star Citizen will eventually release, and I think the community's been very pleased with their progress, but I just don't think it's a game that we're ever going to be able to deal with. They're going to find a Sith lawyer to find a Sith loophole. That's right. Star Wars lore and Force theory has gotten so big and unwieldy, the only real way to do something surprising that doesn't break some rules would be an extragalactic race or being or entity. Listen, they did this all the time in the Wheel of Time. You would find groups of people that could use the true source or the one source or whatever the frick, and they just abided by different rules, and they somehow stayed outside of the detection and the radar of the Aes Sedai. The Aes Sedai were these women that would track down people who were sensitive to these powers and try to train them or still them if they were males, right? So that happened all the time in the Wheel of Time. You could very easily within the Star Wars universe stumble upon some people group, planet, or race that are all, wielding the Force in their own way, but they don't ever get detected by Palpatine. They don't ever get detected by the Jedi Council. They either do something to shield themselves from being detected. They stay at such a dormant level of Force powers, they're not detectable, even though they're incredibly strong. You know what I mean? Maybe they actively use their Force powers to hinder their strength or to minimize their strength so that they're not detectable. Like, I don't know. It's too easy to create an entire new arc that would allow for them to have more Force sensitive people, or like, here's this entire group of like dark Force energy persons that Palpatine never knew about somehow. That, or we're just going to need Dom Toretto and his family to show up with fast cars and nobody knew was coming. Problem solved. Toretto is someone who follows it quite closely, as I do for it. Yeah, 2030 release. What? I think it depends on what you call a Sith. If you're strict with the religion that has been obeyed since Darth Bane, but there's always been other Darksiders being trained on the side. Maybe they operate in balance and they don't disturb the Force. Right, like finding an entire civilization of what amounts to gray Jedi. Here's a small pet that prevents others from detecting your Force ability. Done. Yeah. Yeah. When you're in the tank, you're still alive, so your hair and nails should keep growing. Realistically, you'd come out looking like a Nosferatu. Yeah, I mean, the long hair, I don't think is a clue at who it is. Because the area is really overgrown that the back the tank is in. Force is just bacteria, so couldn't an extremely scientifically advanced race take advantage without being force sensitive? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they're family, and you can't turn your back on family. I got the joke. I just didn't laugh. I got the joke. I just didn't laugh. The Force and the Furious. I want a super chat, but Google isn't letting me. Keep getting a server error. Yeah, YouTube's having trouble today. Our viewership has been all over the place. I can't even explain it. We spiked up to 290 and then dropped. Then we spiked up to 250 and then dropped. I don't know what's going on. What's up, man? Haven't been on for a bit. Hope all is well. Yo, what's good? Detective Seeds. I got the impression midichlorians were supposed to be like mitochondria or chloroplasts, not independent bacteria. The name kind of suggests it too. See, the laugh came. We all saw it. It's a slow burn. You think that was worth it? You thought that was worth it? That's just Palpatine trying to use Vader under him. He has no intentions of Vader surpassing him, and Pelagius had no intentions of dying to let Palp surpass him. Yeah, the rule of two and the Sith and all that, I don't think that restricts future. I don't think that restricts future force sensitive persons or dark force sensitive persons. I don't think so. Sorry. $10 tip for Mr. Glum. I'll super chat for you, East Coast Overlord. Well, there's somebody getting it. They got it to work. Was D-Crucides, but I rebranded since content has kind of exploded. Yeah, I'd be careful with that. I saw some of your live streams, and I don't know how you can sustain that, to be quite honest. I don't know what kind of subgrowth you got from it. But that trial has blown a lot of people up. Andy Signor has like a bunch of videos in the millions, 1 and 2. Out of his last like 25 videos, I think 10 of them are between 1 and 3 million views, which is absolutely insane. So I don't know how you sustain and maintain that, because that trial is going to come and go. You know what I mean? So you have to find some other way to maintain and channel that public interest. Any update on gifted subs yet? We were hoping to have it before the end of the month. My hope would be that we get into June and they just roll the feature out and we don't have to be in the beta. Does the rule of two apply to a clone? I don't know. I don't know. Palpatine never intended on dying, so he wasn't looking for a replacement for himself, only a replacement for Vader, since he was stunted emotionally. Force is bacteria? That's so depressing. No, but Force is not bacteria. No. Don't get that backwards. According to Yoda's speech, the Force is an energy that surrounds us, and it binds and moves all things. It touches all things. Midichlorians just allow you to interact with the Force, right? It's not that midichlorians are the Force. YouTube is being complete butt today again. I mean, I could tell. I knew something was wrong. We were on this wonderful climb. Everything was going well, and then like, I don't even know. We were maybe 30 or 40 minutes into the stream, and I could tell something had happened. Yeah, we went live at 9:15, and at 10:15, like almost exactly, we were like 1 hour in, and we just had another huge viewership spike. Like, I don't know what's going on. We're like 180, 230. Like, what in the frick is happening? I mean, pretend that 30 seconds mentioning them never happened. I don't think any master had intentions of being replaced. The goal of the Sith is to selfishly gain power. They don't plan on dying for someone else to replace them. Andy Signor is he's something like good for him being able to dispute false allegations against him and make a comeback. He has some crap takes though. Yeah, he really disappointed me. He really disappointed me because he was supposed to be like a champion of people that were falsely accused, and he won't respond to me and won't answer my DMs. So he must be connected to somebody that has a vested interest in him not covering it, which makes me like really like raise an eyebrow about the genuineness of the man. I don't know. I'm not going to accuse him of anything, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you literally created a channel to help people, and he ignored me once he looked into my story. So it's like, okay, who are you connected to that you don't want to fall out of the good graces of? You know what I'm saying? Yo, thank you, Free J Free. Rule of 2 is not mandatory. Whoever's ruling the Sith can decide what they want to follow. I believe Palpatine wanted to follow the rule of 1, which meant he stays in charge forever. Rule of 2 is specifically meant to breed power by the student surpassing the master. You have to die to follow the rule of 2. That's what I thought it was about. It was about a way to ensure an almost an infinite growth pattern for Sith power. The next in line always has to be stronger than the one at the top. So they get stronger and stronger and stronger, which makes them at some point an unstoppable force. Sith works in a cycle. If you control of power was their sole intent, then why even train students? There's always a risk. That's exactly the idea. That's how I always understood it, is that you have an infinite growth of power if the second in command always has to surpass the one above them. Didn't realize you reached out to him. I do know he and Gothix are close if you want to ask her about it further. He responded to my DM a long time ago. And like I told him, here's what happened, look into this here. And then he never got back to me. And I recently DM'd him again and was like, hey, happy to see everything, turning around for you. And then he didn't even reply to that. I was like congratulating him on really turning a corner, and he didn't reply to it. So I don't know. I'm always really suspicious with how many people, YouTubers and the press in general, treated everything. Like once people realized what had really happened, everybody went quiet and wouldn't talk about it. It was like they didn't want to fall out of the good graces of maybe Bungie. Bungie's now, owned by Sony. Do you put yourself into the crosshairs of a problem if you suddenly decide to cross those guys? You know what I mean? It's like powerful people were involved, and it feels like a lot of people realized that once there were powerful people involved, it was like, I'm not touching this. It was meant to keep everyone from challenging the person at the top and beating them down with numbers. Very powerful Sith fell to hordes of challengers that were weaker individually. I feel like there's an underlying understanding that your student will kill you eventually. Almost like that would be the honor. Is that if you successfully train somebody to be that strong to surpass you, then you would take satisfaction in that death. You'd be like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. The way of the Sith is to train to the point of being surpassed, which then would mean that you did what you were supposed to. It's easy to be brave when nothing's on the line. Yeah, like it's easy to be brave and stand up for yourself. Exactly, Zubair. But then when you're like, oh wait, hold on a minute. The quartering did the same thing. Jeremy did the same thing. Jeremy wouldn't get involved. He was like, I don't really want to get involved in this. I feel like there were a lot of bad actors. I'm like, well, that sounds like a great reason to investigate it and report on it. I feel like he kind of did the same thing. He did a softball coverage for Upper Echelon, and then that was the extent of it. It was almost like there's too many big players involved here. I don't want to cross these people. What's the difference between Sith versus look, I have a red lightsaber? What's the difference between a Sith and someone who is Force sensitive, who likes the dark side? Right? There's only so much of the Force, and 2 focuses on the energy instead of a whole bunch. Now, yeah, I'm with Butters. Do you have to be a Sith just because you have a red lightsaber and you think the dark side's cool? You know, you're a very emotionally driven person, so you tap into the dark side very easily. What are we talking about? We're talking about the rule of two. So in the Star Wars Jedi Survivor official teaser that they put out, we've been breaking down the trailer. It's basically Jedi Fallen Order 2 trailer. We've been breaking that down today. And in the trailer, there's a guy with a red lightsaber. And it's like, okay, well, who is that? And how does that fit in the canon? Is it a Sith? How would a Sith fit in the canon at that point? You know what I mean? Many Dark Wielders worked for Vader, and they weren't Sith. In canon now, having a red lightsaber means you made your Kyber crystal bleed, which is a Sith method. But, so only the Sith have red lightsabers? I feel like the Sith is a religion or a cult. Like, you choose to adopt their specific rule set. They were just allowed to live in exchange for service and loyalty. The other thing, I haven't played Fallen Order. You're not missing out on story elements of what's potentially going on in Jedi Survivor if you haven't played Fallen Order. You're missing out on very minimal things. Every time Star Wars is brought up, I'm reminded of Robot Chicken's skit episodes on it. It's more like only the Sith know how to bleed Kyber crystals. I think Sidious taught the Inquisitors without teaching them real Sith lessons. Isn't Mace Windu emotionally driven to some extent? Yeah, and isn't there evidence that Mace Windu has experimented with dark side powers at some level? At the time of Fallen Order, for example, there are 2 Sith, Vader and Palpatine. All others are just Sith dark side users. Pretty sure the Knights of Ren weren't Sith. They specifically want to destroy both the Jedi and the Sith. The Inquisitors are also not technically Sith. They're dark side users. I think it's on Game Pass. I'll try it out. If you're a fan of Star Wars and you're a fan of games like that, oh man, yes. It's a great game. It's definitely worthy of playing. I'll tell you what we're going to do. In spite of whatever's going on YouTube today, we've maintained the turnout's not been as bad as I expected for a holiday. Holidays usually aren't good for us. They're usually not good for us because we miss out on those worker lurkers. But we are going to do our first ever... hang on a second. I'm getting the video ready. Diablo Immortal. We are going to do our first ever reaction talk show. Okay? It's still going to be a talk show. I will warn you. I'm going to try to mute when Asmongold swears because I am safe for work. The few times he swears, it's pretty obvious he's getting ready to swear. He drops, I think, 3 F-bombs in the video and one SHIT word. Now, I know some people are like, oh my goodness, why are you so worried about swearing? We have a lot of people who listen to the stream and throw me on in the background of their day, and me being safe for work is a huge plus for them. They don't have to worry about the kiddos walking through the room. So I'm going to do my best during the next segment to bleep those out. I can't guarantee you I'm going to successfully do it. Now, it's still going to be a talk show. I want to know what you guys think. I've got my thoughts kind of preemptively typed up about pay to win, Lost Ark, pay to win culture. I actually think I'm gonna whet your appetite for the next show. I actually think that Asmongold makes a really strong case inadvertently in his video as to why we should call pay to progress, and pay to win. He doesn't intend this, but I'm actually going to deduce from his video and reemphasize the importance of those two terms. Christians up in here? It's not about Christians, homie. It's about people that don't want their 4-year-old to hear swear words. You know what I'm saying? You can be an atheist and not want your little kiddos hearing swear words, or you're in the workplace, or whatever the case may be. It has nothing to do with that. Don't turn it into that, please. That's not why. I'll get some Advil for the headache I'm about to have. I think it'll be a good conversation. Mondays are typically light for news, so it's a good second segment. And then Reforge Radio, we actually have some pretty decent sized stories, some pretty good sized stories that hit over the weekend that weren't going to really work for a lead over here. Things going on with Fortnite Season Ender, Sony and Bungie, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the Sith Lords, when it's going to release, and a State of Play leak, a Sony State of Play leak. So we've actually got some good stuff for radio as well this afternoon. So yeah. So I will be back in a brief moment. I am going to hit some ads. We almost never run ads on the channel. If you're not currently a paying member, if you've never done a paid membership on YouTube, I do everything I can to really make it worth it. $5 gets you into lots of extra content. If you upgrade from a tier 1 to a tier 2, you get to enhance all those perks. So consider becoming a member or upgrading your membership right now to support what we do. Because unlike other YouTube channels, we don't really live off the ad revenue. It would be extremely disruptive to the live show. I've been streaming for over 2 hours. If I kept running ads, it wouldn't make for a very good show, okay? I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Make sure and smash like, subscribe, and all the other free ways to support. Consider ordering coffee, becoming a member, or get your dad a nice shirt from the Father's Day collection over at 80s Tees. You can use the shirt command. All right, I'll be right back. Hang on a minute. I'll shut the door and I don't want to. I'm gonna see if we can get the room, because I unblocked the AC. I forgot I had the AC thing blocked in the ceiling when we were getting too much heat. Why is God of War trending? Is God of War trending? Is there any news? Oh, it looks like people are just... Oh, God of War to be a PS Plus game for June. Seems like Sony's getting ready to unleash Ragnarok very soon. Okay, that's why. Okay. That makes sense. Asmongold, Diablo, Immortal, pay to win reaction. If you got an audience under 3K, running live ads is just a stream killer. Yeah, you would all you do if you run live ads consistently while you're live, all you're going to do is hurt your viewership and not make any money. It's like the money that you would make is not worth it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you're trading viewers. At that point, you're like trading a good amount of viewers for pennies. Make sure you are directly referencing the titles of his video in the description. Oh, I've not done that yet. Hang on. Let me update that. Let's see. Have the link to his video. Yep, I need to do that. I forgot to do that. Let's see. Here it is. Share, copy. Okay. There we go. It's in the description now. Okay. And that poll, is there a whole etiquette to reaction? Yeah, so you do what you want to link them in the description. You want to give them credit. You want to direct people to their channel. Obviously, with his 1.75 million subscribers, 1.35 million subscribers, I don't think he's going to be like, hey, thanks for the bump. But it's just etiquette. It's just being courteous. He also won't care about what I'm doing because he does it himself. Like, that's literally his video that we're going to be watching. I didn't realize it was him reacting to somebody else. Asmongold's conclusion is that Diablo Immortal is 200% pay to win. And I want to watch it and react to it. And I think he inadvertently makes a case for the fact that we need different terms. We need different terms. So let me send my tweets and then we'll go live. It's going to be a reactception. We are accidentally doing a reaction section today. Had a lot of requests to react to the pay to win video by Asmongold. Didn't realize his was also a reaction. Still should be good. Come discuss. We are accidentally doing a reactionception today. Had a lot of requests to react to the pay to win video by Asmongold. I didn't realize his was also a reaction. Still should be good. Come discuss. Send tweet. Why are you not calling it the 200 pay to win? That's what people YouTube and Google know the video as. All of my research was Asmongold Diablo Immortal pay to win. Like when I typed that out, Asmongold Diablo Immortal pay to, that's the recommended search term. I have 200 pay to win in the description, but the title I went with the more common. What was the search prediction or suggestion, I should say. All right, let me give you guys a link to the video just in case redirect doesn't work. Let me set up redirect. I actually haven't done that yet. We want reaction content to be very highbrow and respectful and good quality content. So this is not going to be me, you know, I'm not going to be a jerk. And we want the content to be enjoyable. We want it to be very similar to what you're accustomed to. So, okay.
Diablo.
All right, hang on. All right. Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is going to be the first reaction video I've ever done. Asmongold's Diablo Immortal pay-to-win video. We will be reacting to it. Now, we know reaction content can get sort of a bad rap on YouTube. We are going to strive for high quality reaction content. It's going to be very similar to my talk shows. We're going to be interacting with the live chat in my audience about what he is saying, what he's outlining, and I'm going to be trying to be very thoughtful and charitable and sort of debate or interact with or agree with what he is saying. We're going to maybe do this on a regular basis if we feel we have content that is relevant to things we have covered. We have recently covered Diablo Immortal. I'm going